previous 2 years. I've been talking to people as they've been grabbing coffee this morning, and everybody sees it differently. You think it's getting better?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
It's going up. Yeah, because, and definitely the homelessness has gone up. We need to get them off the streets. We need to get them mental help. We need to get them off drugs. Seriously, we need to get people help. We need to get them in homes. They've been saying they're going to do something about it for a long time, but they can't do anything.
In a statement, Mayor Karen Bass, who's running for re-election in November, put part of the blame for the increase of homelessness on funding cuts by the federal and state governments. She also believes that L.A. County is failing to provide an adequate amount of services to help those on the streets, services like mental health and substance abuse counseling. In Westchester, I'm John Baird, KNX News.
The gas prices are still going up. We're seeing more of the global oil disruption, and that means maybe the pain at the pump is just getting started. Here's Brian Ping.
Energy analyst Andrew Lipow says the country has enough gasoline on hand to get through the end of the summer driving season, but the outlook becomes much less certain after Labor Day.
The world is going to be looking at what is the availability of supply as we go into the fall and winter, and that's where the oil market can get really nervous if they don't see any resolution to what's going on in the Middle East.
Also, gasoline prices have risen 57 cents a gallon since early this month. Lipow expects it to go higher, but says diesel presents an even greater threat.
The futures prices are up nearly $1.20 a gallon since early July. The national average is right now sitting at around $5.21. I'm expecting to see that go to $5.50 pretty quickly.
Higher diesel costs can ripple through the economy because nearly everything consumers purchase spends at least part of its journey on a truck. Lipow says meaningful relief is unlikely without a ceasefire that reopens the Strait of Hormuz. I'm Brian King, KNX News.
Gas up 17 cents in L.A. County the last week. Average gallon of gas going to cost you $5.64 in L.A., $5.59 in Orange County.
Let's get to that traffic. Speaking of gas, 805.
Sabina Mora, Downey Hyundai Traffic Center.
All right, we have one SIG alert in Los Angeles County. It's actually on the 5 freeway southbound in Burbank. It's the Verdugo off-ramp that's closed. That was an early morning crash with a big rig. That was causing a little bit of slowing. I think they're in the process of reopening, hopefully. It's not too bad. And then the backup, there was a crash in Sun Valley right at Lankershim. Looks like those vehicles were clear to the right shoulder and traffic looking better through that stretch. On the northbound side of the 101 through downtown Los Angeles, just north of Boyle Heights and Whittier Boulevard and the East LA interchange, it's a lot of congestion to the 110. We did lose some earlier issues. Once you get past Echo Park and Alvarado, you should be okay to Silver Lake Boulevard and then into Hollywood. The southbound traffic on the 101 still there from Melrose. It's just brake lights over to Alvarado before it looks better at the 110. And then in Orange County, there were two separate issues. 91 westbound, car stuck at the 50. Just south of the 91 near La Palma Avenue, there's a separate problem with a car stuck, and that's a backup from the 91 heading towards Brookhurst.
All right, Serena, thank you. Big Bear Eagle Jackie continues her long road to recovery. While she's still fighting for her life, she's in critical condition. There's been a younger female now spotted hanging around Jackie's mate, Shadow, the female eagle, also believed to be the one that got into the fight, or at least one of the two that got into that skirmish with Jackie last week. Give me a telling with retired wildlife biologist Pete Nye, who says Jackie's had a heart season, 2 sets of eggs, and she may be just plain weak to begin with. As far as the fight, the younger female eagles are usually motivated by mates, not territory.
They simply overpower the resident female. Sometimes they actually kill the resident female to take over the nesting situation.
Vicious man. Shadow hasn't shown any interest in the younger female yet, and that's not unusual.
The male will kind of just sit back and say, whatever you two work out, I'm here when you're done.
Yeah, that's a guy thing. Nye says Shadow is probably still waiting for Jackie as the vets continue to find out what's up with Jackie. She had a blood transfusion, no signs of cancer. That's good news. In the Ojai Raptor Center, who's watching after her, says she continues to perch, eat, and has slightly more energy.
In Boyle Heights, they've still got the increase in the rats and the smell coming from that warehouse, and now the fly situation's getting worse. NBC4 looked at this report from a pest control company. It was about green bottle flies. Found those flies are reproducing rapidly because of the food and the rotting food and then the waste, and then the heat's adding to it. Report says those flies can cause serious illness. Neighbors keeping their homes sealed up because of the smell, but also because of these flies. As of this week, 3,195 tons of that spoiled food has been removed from the site. most of it going to landfills in Simi Valley, Corona, and Rialto.
So firefighters working to knock down a fire in an apartment building in Reseda. I always hate hearing about that because it doesn't just affect one resident. LAFD says an elderly woman had to be taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. No word on any injuries, so if you do see a little bit of smoke, it looks like at this point it might be an attic fire. This is going to be just off Van Owen, so the closest intersection would be Van Owen and Reseda.
Ciclovia is going to stay. There was a bunch of support to keep it. The Metro board voted yesterday to order their staff to go and find money to keep it running. It was under threat. Metro was thinking about taking the money and putting it towards the fan zones for the Olympics, but a whole bunch of supporters put in 3,000 public comments and said, no, you got to save it. The executive director of Ciclovia telling CBS LA these events have allowed thousands of people to connect with their neighborhoods.
It made me realize that there was something magical going on, which was this appetite for connection and community. Imagine a world where Ciclovia and open streets, they don't exist anymore. I think people don't like that future.
Mayor Bass calling for Metro. She's now the chair of the board to continue the funding for Ciclovia through 2020.
Well, good news, Sunset Boulevard through West Hollywood's going to be opening up at some point later on this evening, right there at Holloway and Sunset. Of course, the site of last week's massive water main break, so the road just has to be patched up here. Yesterday, a little bit of concern. DWP found some leakage from a small hole in that 36-inch pipe, but that was repaired. So next step will be to slowly repressurize the water line. They'll be able to do that as the road is open. As of now, the paving project, it's temporary, so crews are going to fix it up. So by tonight, Sunset will be open, everything will be good. They'll be coming back in a couple weeks to do a permanent repaving job and also repair a nearby bus pad and also adjoining sidewalk that were damaged.
Does it seem like we've had a lot of these water main breaks lately? Do we usually just have a lot of these, but we're not always paying attention to it? Here's Craig Figner.
Yes, most of LADWP's infrastructure is open, with the exception of that massive water pipe burst last week. Other smaller leaks, well, they're fairly common, like
Water main breaks, we have about 2 to 4 a day in the city of Los Angeles, and that is actually a 36% lower than national average when it comes to water main breaks. So we actually have a good average, and I understand any water main break is not something that customers who are affected want to hear that their water is out.
LADWP spokesperson Ellen Chang, she tells us that yesterday's water main break on Santa Monica Boulevard affected fewer than a dozen customers. I'm Craig Figner, KNX News.
So reopening the streets in West Hollywood can't come soon enough for local businesses. The owner of Pie on Sunset, that's a Lebanese restaurant, tells CBS LA customers having a hard time getting around the closure and getting into his business.
Hopefully, if they're going to open by Friday, so things will be better. At least we can pick up whatever is missed.
Well, that's just the case. Today's Friday, of course, and yeah, the streets will open up later on today. Now, Harvey Jason, owner of Mystery Pier Books, there just around the corner from where this water main break was, he says thankfully his business wasn't flooded.
Everything is a literary treasure, and if the water came and ruined it, this would a fortune is gone.
A lot of books there, worth a lot of money. Says this business isn't reliant on foot traffic, but other businesses in the area aren't so lucky. It's 8:11.
Hey, it's Postmaster Johnny. Star Ford Lincoln Glendale is giving everybody employee pricing. We're talking deals so low, even the employees are doing double takes. Get into a built Ford stock F-150 with power, attitude, and huge savings. Star Ford Lincoln Glendale. Good deals, good people. Go today. Tell them Johnny sent you.
It's a story we've heard a lot of times. Really frustrating one. You pay that homeowner's insurance every month like you're supposed to, like clockwork. Then one day something goes wrong. You got to use the insurance. Maybe there's a water damage. There's a huge mess, a burst water pipe. Maybe there's a house fire. You open a claim with your insurance company, and that number that comes over is not enough. They offer to pay you so little, it's not even going to come close to covering the cost of the repairs you need to make. Next call, make that one to Abner Gatt. Abner Gatt's a public insurance adjuster, and he is on your side, because you can try to negotiate with your insurance company, but you're going to find out really quickly that is not an easy thing to do. Abner Gatt knows how. He negotiates on your behalf to make sure you're getting the best possible insurance claim payout. His team's got the experience. You need him on your side. 5 stars on Yelp, Google, the Better Business Bureau. Nobody messes around with Abner Gatt and his team. These companies, they know the name. One of the reviews from Cerritos says from the very first call, it was a breath of fresh air, professional, straightforward, advocating for us. The number, 818-917-5256. 818-917-5256. It's either Abner himself or a member of his family that answer the phone, 818-917-5256. AbnerGatt.com, ABNERGAT.com.
Court Furniture Outlet's annual summer savings event is on now. Find everything you need for your home or office all on sale. Court Furniture prices are always super low because they lease their furniture for use in model homes, movies, and television by home stagers and corporate offices. And when the furniture comes back, they sell it for pennies on the dollar. But now you'll see even more on an incredible selection of new and previously leased home and office furniture. Everything you need to brighten up your home or make your workplace more comfortable. Choose from a selection of new reclining sectionals, sofas and love seats, bedroom sets, dining sets, mattresses, and more. Plus, now save an additional 20% off on desks, office chairs, lamps, arch, and rugs, and 50% off on all bargain tagged items. Hurry in today, with locations in Glendale and Central, and Corona at the 91 and McKinley, and Thousand Valley at Euclid and the 405. Check them out on Google or go to CourtFurnitureOutlet.com. That's CORTFurnitureOutlet.com.
At SCE, we're powering progress with energy that helps customers save, moves goods, drives opportunities, and makes our community stronger. From the electric grid to electrified ports, to the wheels that move our deliveries, to the people who keep it all moving. From the grid to your shop, to your home, to your ride, we're building systems that power today safely and push the places we live and work forward. Because a more reliable grid means more than electricity. It means cost savings, jobs, cleaner air, and a brighter Southern California. Visit SCE.com/powering progress. Funded by shareholders. This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. Some things can steal your sunshine. I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more. I just took a COVID test. Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit Pfizerforall.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Good morning. It's KNX. Mike Simpson and Brian Douglas. The homeless count going up in an election year. What's that mean for Mayor Bass? We'll have that after traffic. It's 8:15, brought to you by your SoCal Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Here's Sabina.
All right, going to go straight to Orange County. Your Southern California Toyota dealers in St. Ivy. A little bit better on the west 91 at the 55. That was quite a mess because of a car that was stuck in fast track lanes. It looks like that's been moved and traffic is recovering. Also south on the 5 in Anaheim. Before you get to Euclid, that's reports of a car that broke down in one of the right lanes. I still see a pretty heavy backup here from the 91. Thank you, tipsters Siobhan and Rachel, for calling in about the 10 eastbound at Milliken. I did see traffic that was pretty heavy through that stretch. Looks like there was some activity because of a collision. There's also some westbound going out of Bloomington, and this is going to be over to Cherry. Looks like there's some towing on that 10 because of an earlier crash. The 60 is looking much better in both directions. And then this newer hazard, Ezekiel got your call about the southbound 5 near Garfield. It looks like it's a crash, a motorcycle accident. The 2 right lanes are blocked off and a pretty solid backup already from before the 710. Toyota Prius now available at your Toyota dealer with full design efficiency you can feel. Visit Toyota.com. We make it easy. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 to the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
All of us are seeing hot conditions today, but we are focusing on the Inland Empire and the valleys in our desert because the temps are soaring above triple digits. We're 106 for the high today for the IE. Triple digits also in the mix for places like Lancaster, into our valleys like Santa Clarita. So keep that in mind. Temperatures scale back a little bit early next week, but we're still staying above average to the immediate future. That's your next weather. I'm CBS 8's Clay Carlson, KNX News.
So the official numbers for homeless are coming out later today, and it was leaked yesterday. We've heard that it's increased by more than 3% over the past year. So how's that going to impact Mayor Karen Bass? After 2 straight years of a drop in homelessness, along with billions of tax dollars spent on the crisis, but of course, the mayor's Inside Safe initiative that we've been hearing so much about, or at least we did. And the numbers for unsheltered homeless, those not housed in shelters or temporary facilities, jumped by even more, about 8%. Spelled out a lot of trouble for the mayor. She faces that big re-election battle. Our Chris Stevens Find out more from political analyst Dan Schnur, who teaches at USC and UC Berkeley.
The mayor issuing a statement saying she expected an increase in homelessness and blaming cuts in state and federal funding along with faults in county services. Is the mayor right about that, or do you see that as just kind of an excuse?
Well, the mayor is absolutely right in that the city is receiving less money for homelessness services than it has in the past. That said, one of the best and or worst things about politics is when you're the person in charge. You get way too much credit when things are good and way too much blame when things are bad. In other words, it sort of comes with the job.
Many voters for both parties want the authorities to get tougher when it comes to the issue of homelessness and take aggressive action to clean up the homeless camps in Los Angeles, both the city and the county. Is that more difficult for cities run by Democrats?
It is a more difficult challenge for Bass, particularly now that she's running against a more progressive opponent for mayor. 4 years ago, when she ran against Rick Caruso, a much more conservative candidate, she was able to move to the center on issues like crime and homelessness in a way that's simply not available to her now, because Bass needs to compete much more actively for left-leaning Angelina than was the case in the past. So it's not like the numbers are going to get much better in the next 103 days, but given the nature of her campaign, she is much more constrained. That might have been the case if she'd been running against Caruso again, or perhaps against Spencer Brett.
You mentioned just over 100 days. Is there anything the mayor realistically do or say between now and then to try and turn her fortunes around when it comes to this issue?
On this issue and more broadly, I think Bass really only has one path to re-election. There's no way between now and early November she's going to get Los Angeles voters to fundamentally rethink the conclusions to which they've reached about her. Her only path to re-election, therefore, on the other hand, is to make them believe that Nitya Raman will beat even in the city. So she's not going to convince people, which we not on November 3rd, that she can make this better. What we should wait for on homelessness and other issues is her effort to convince us that women will make it even worse.
Political analyst Dan Schnur of USC and UC Berkeley. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
Day 20, let's check your money. Got some encouraging news for housing. Here's Tom Busby.
Yeah, sales of newly built homes rose in June for the first time in 3 months, thanks in large part to heavy discounting and generous financing deals from those builders that helped offset higher mortgage rates. A lot of jitters about inflation and where the economy is headed. Median prices on new homes declined 2.7% year over year to just $398,000. On Wall Street, kind of a quiet trading day, mostly to wrap up a pretty volatile week. Stocks are mixed right now, mostly higher. Chip makers are lower despite a blowout outlook from Intel. The Dow now up 300 points, about 0.5% higher. The Nasdaq down 13, the S&P up 37. Oil is down about 4%. It's around $88 a barrel. Saudi Arabian crude still being shipped through the Red Sea despite Iran-backed militants in Yemen attacking some Saudi ships. And cereal news on this Friday. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween, just 3 months away. General Mills bringing back those 3 Halloween favorites. Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Blueberry, a little early.
Yeah.
Brian.
All right.
Mike, you're in luck. That's right.
What a time to be alive.
Thank goodness. Ooh, that's scary. I'm Bloomberg's Tom Busby from the DTLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys Money Desk. Injury, accident, text injury help to 40222.
Every Tuesday, we get in line, gas up the grill, and get our stomachs ready for Taco Tuesday. Lovely Greg highlights the best tacos in Southern California.
It's a one-of-a-kind taco.
From how they're made,
You would go down to their mom's house in Tijuana. She's made like 250 of these.
where to get them,
This right here is the scene of a Tijuana-style taco.
and what makes them unique.
10 out of 10 on the cheese.
And listen every Taco Tuesday on KNX.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it. Nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless. along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
So he's spending his golden years fostering Goldens that are looking for their forever home. Heather Jordan has our KNX Hero of the Week.
At the wonderful age of 94 years old, Carl Stromstead of Orange County is a hero in many ways. He's a Korean War Navy veteran, a father of 4 kids. He was a loving husband to his late wife of 79 years. And since 2022, he's been fostering dogs that need a little help. Carl has opened up his home to 24 dogs that were saved through the Southern California Golden Retriever Rescue. He gives them lots of love and attention and raises them for their forever home. From puppies to seniors to a few that need a little training, Carl says the dogs give him something to live for.
They keep me alive. It feels good when they get adopted. And you found another dog, for another home.
Right now, Carl is taking care of a special senior dog named Ripley, who is 15 years old. He's making the Golden Retriever's final days his best days.
Well, we go out in front every afternoon when it's nice out, and I take them up and down the front yard. I can't take them down to the corner because he wears out, see?
Yeah.
So we spend half hour, 45 minutes out there in the front, Then we lay down the grass and I comb him, and he just loves it.
They kind of take care of each other.
We just hang together, that's all.
Yeah.
If he gets up in the morning, so do I.
Kate Bonneau is with the Southern California Golden Retriever Rescue, and she says Carl is a very special foster parent for them.
One of our goals as a rescue, Heather, is trying to engage with the senior community of retirees that maybe aren't willing to commit to a dog for 10 years, but want the companionship of a dog around, and being able to foster is such a win-win when you think about older folks that are just, looking for that companionship or someone to motivate them to go for a walk. And I wish I had a dozen Carls, honestly.
I made her to say that.
Our KNX Hero of the Week, 94-year-old Carl Stromstead of Orange County. See pictures of Carl and Ripley and other foster dogs at the Heroes page at knxnews.com. I am Heather Jordan for KNX News.
ES 825.
Brought to you by DCLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys. Here's Sabina Morris.
And make another trip to Burbank off 5 Freeway, your Southern California Toyota dealers instant IVU. That's our SIG alert. It's southbound 5 at Verdugo. The off-ramp is blocked. That was an early morning crash with a big rig. They're saying they're going to need that closure in place until later this afternoon. It's a long-term Caltrans closure, southbound 5 at Verdugo. It's causing a little bit of slowing approaching. Once you get past that, really not too bad to the 134, and the southbound traffic through Atwater Village into Elysian Park is moving. Although the northbound side of the 5 is still a struggle, just north of the 10 through Lincoln Heights. A lot of cars are heading over to the 110 connector, to the 2 connector, and then it should clear once you get past that. Southbound 5, the reason it's so busy is a motorcycle accident on the southbound 5 at Garfield. So if you're trying to get into Downey, you may have noticed the heavy delays here. The right lanes are blocked. Back up from Indiana, just south or north of the 710 freeway. Before you get to the 710, you're going to be bumper to bumper all the way through to Garfield. Once you get past that crash, it will clear to the 605. If you've had an injury, accident, a slip and fall, or been victimized by an assault, help is just a text away. Text injury help to 40222. Contact attorney for Reed at DTLA Law Group, 540 Santa Fe Avenue. Results may vary. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from the Downey 24-hour traffic center.
80s, 90s, triple digits for the afternoons, and still warm at night and still more humid than we'd like it to be. So we're in this heat wave into next week. We have the mix of sun and clouds today, some gusty winds for some spots. But valleys in the IE this afternoon as high as 105. Tomorrow maybe just a degree or 2 down and another couple more dropping for Sunday. But that still means 70s, 80s, 90s, and triple digits. 820.
Homeowners need access to the equity in your home but don't want to lose your low mortgage rate? The good news is You don't have to. With a 5-day HELOC from Devin Lincoln, you can access $100,000 to $750,000 without replacing your current mortgage. Use the money for whatever you want, whether you're paying off high-interest debt, remodeling your home, or investing in real estate. You could have funding in as little as 5 days. There's no appraisal required, no tax returns, a fixed rate, and no prepayment penalties. If your credit score is 640 or higher, with no mortgage rates in the past 12 months, find out how much equity you can access. Call 800-590-9770. That's 800-590-9770. 800-590-9770. Or apply online at DevonLincoln.com. That's DEVONLINKON.com. Loans processed through West Capital Lending and subject to credit approval. NMLS number 1987809. DRE number 0225496. See website for licensing terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of adults, both men and women, suffer from varicose or spider veins. And this is not just a cosmetic problem. If left untreated, varicose veins can lead to severe swelling, cramping, heavy bleeding, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, permanent paralysis, and worst case, blood clots, which can be life-threatening. But here's the good news. USA Vein Clinics offer plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up the problem. And the procedure is fast and simple. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your varicose vein problems will not go away on their own. Call USA Vein Clinics today for free information on fast and easy solutions covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. Call 800-452-0119 today.
It's your turn to cook dinner, and you decided to make pasta from scratch. Brave. But you were supposed to be at car shopping, handled too. Sounds like a recipe for disaster. Not with Amazon Autos. With Amazon Autos, you can car shop pretty much anywhere. What you see is what you pay, no surprises, no guesswork. So you can stay in chef mode, even if dinner gets a little ambitious. Amazon Autos. Just add car to cart.
Visit Amazon.com/autos.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place.
From the DCLA Live Blue Future Health Studio. In Southern California, news. KNX.
Good morning. It's 8:30. I'm Mike Simpson.
I'm Brian Douglas in for Margaret Ferrero. So the numbers on the latest homeless count, they're coming out a little bit later on today. And, well, at least yesterday, they're not looking too pretty. Insiders say it is on the rise, even though LA's mayor has made this issue one of her top priorities and spent a whole lot of money trying to fix it. John Baird has reaction from Westchester.
The numbers are going to be released officially this afternoon, but sources say what they will show is the city of LA now has a homeless population of 45,194. That's just the city alone, with an overall increase of 3.4%. And when it comes to those living outdoors or in their cars, the number jumps to nearly 8%. One man I spoke to said housing is a big part of the problem here in LA.
Well, the rents are sky-high housing situation, and again, just the rents, and it's making it just worse.
And yet others look around and believe the situation is actually getting better, although they're not exactly sure of the accuracy of the homeless count. You don't think it's going up?
No, I don't see it.
You think it's going down?
Yeah, it's going down. Well, you don't see them around. They're always around here.
Oh, you don't see them as much?
No.
Still, the increase in the number of homeless people could complicate things for LA Mayor Karen Bass, who is running for re-election in November. The mayor has made the homelessness issue a big part of her agenda. I'm John Baird, KNX News.
We talked to Dr. Sarah Hunter at RAND. She says their studies, the loss numbers have been too low the last couple of years.
Our numbers were 26% higher in 2024 and 32% higher in 2025. Our numbers in 2026 show a plateau with no change. 25 to 26, which might mean that LAHSA's numbers are just getting to be a little more accurate than they were in the past couple years. Of note, our numbers were very much in line with LAHSA in 2022 and 2023.
We also had Adam Murray on, he's CEO of the Inner City Law Center, a nonprofit poverty law firm. He says today's report will show how many people are homeless because of mental health and drug addiction issues compared to those who are just having financial trouble.
This report that comes out today should have breakdowns of those, or a best snapshot of who's actually on the streets at any given point in time. I will say historically, and around 30% of folks who are struggling with mental health, 30-40% are struggling with mental health and or addiction issues. So it's a substantial chunk of the folks who are out there, but it's not the majority. It's never been the majority.
He also says sometimes people who are having financial problems and become homeless turn to drugs, so the numbers are intertwined.
Well, the work to scrub away the tagging from downtown LA's graffiti towers well underway. So it's always been this. So I'm curious as to how it's going to be now. But their concerns, however, the vandals, once everything's cleaned up, they're going to say, hey, they're going to take that as a challenge. Let's go back and retag the building. The new owner of the building has hired 24/7 security to try and prevent that, and they're also getting help from a local community group. Deborah Trout is chair of the South Park Neighborhood Association. Her home overlooks the property, and she's had her front row seat to some of the bad behavior there related to the building. She talked to CBS LA all about it.
People doing tightrope walking, and then they were doing parasailing, and they were scaling. And
I remember that. She says her group watches the property and thinks one way to keep taggers from spray painting the buildings again is let them do it on the fencing, which is outside of the building.
They could then do whatever they want to, and it would be sort of temporary, probably until the building's done, but it would make it look better than the fencing that they have there.
As we've said, cleanup underway, but it's expected to be completed in about 3 months.
Not too long from now, you'll be able to hear the police sirens coming behind you, but also feel them too. Here's Pete Demetrio.
Instead of traditional siren, black and whites will sound like this when on a Code 3 run. The tone is called a rumbler, and LAPD Commander Blake Chow, Support Services Section, says it'll get drivers' attention from a considerable distance away.
We're going to have a low-frequency sound wave that sounds like a bass in a car that might pull it next to, but the frequency is so low that it actually penetrates the sound deadening proofing of the vehicle, the doors, the windows, and you can actually feel that black and white coming to the intersection before you may even hear the siren.
How far is this effect down there? What, 50 feet, 100 feet?
It could be half a block.
And should you not get a clue that you should clear the path for approaching police officers, this should rock your world as well. Move to the right. Police are hoping the new sirens will not only give people to pull over to the right, the low frequency vibration will alert people approaching intersections, letting them know police are coming, and stop rather than block the intersections and force officers to maneuver around them. In downtown LA, I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX News.
It's 8:35.
We got LeBron James news. To the 76ers, to Philadelphia, ESPN has this. I know you're happy over a 2-year, $8 million deal. Right after ESPN had it, he started tweeting saying, I thought I was done when the season ended. He said, honestly, he thought he was, but he still has more to give. He says he thinks he can make the 76ers a championship team. He's excited to energize a new fan base. He signed off saying, thank you, LA. Miami, I'll forever love, and Northeast Ohio will always be home.
And as someone that comes from Philly, I can tell you, Sixers fans have been waiting for this. They need a little push. He needs a little push, and they're getting a big one.
All right, let's get traffic now. Sabina Moore at Downey Hyundai Traffic Center.
Okay, our ongoing closure in Burbank. Southbound side at Verdugo, the off-ramp still closed. They say they need till this afternoon because of an earlier big rig crash and some damage there to the off-ramp. Heading south on the 5, just past Washington, closer to Garfield. There's some improvement here. They did move everybody to the right shoulder. This is our motorcycle accident, but there were a couple of big trucks and cars involved as well. They're saying that they cleared the lanes. It's still a solid backup from before the 710. On the South 57 into Orange County, right in Imperial Highway, that's a 2-car crash. They're moving to the center divider. There's going to be a backup out of Diamond Bar from Pathfinder. Also, the 71 problem has been here a while, northbound 71 at the 91. They finally have the tow truck out there, so we're hoping they clear lanes because it's a big backup in both directions. If you're trying to get over to Euclid or if you're southbound to the 91 connector.
All right, Sabina, thank you. So, Saudi oil tankers have become targets for the Iranian-based vaccine Houthi rebels, Yemen, and that's causing another major choke point for global oil industry. That's not good. Matt Rivers has more from Jordan.
We've been talking about the Strait of Hormuz for months, but let's talk about a strait called Bab el-Mandeb, just off the coast of Yemen in the Red Sea. 10 to 12% of all global shipping goes through that strait each year, and now a lot of Saudi oil does as well. The fear now is what happens if the Houthis and Iran jointly decide to close Bab el-Mandeb altogether.
All the turmoil in the Middle East waters will do a number of crude oil, and of course gas prices right here at home. The average cost now $5.64 in LA, up a couple of cents from yesterday, more than 17 cents compared to this time last week. And more questions are being asked about the proposed nuclear power deal between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. Here's Mary Bruce.
The president is now dramatically changing the terms, with a new condition that could put the entire deal out of reach. Trump saying it is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. But that remains highly unlikely. It would require Saudi Arabia to normalize diplomatic relations with Israel, something they have refused to do unless Israel commits to a Palestinian state.
While the fighting between U.S. and Iran continues, drones carrying explosives actually hit a city in northern Iraq where U.S. forces are stationed. That happened just hours after the American military said it finished its 13th night of strikes against Iran.
President Trump put new tariffs on several countries. They took effect this morning, 10 to 12.5%. Here's Rebecca Jarvis.
This new round goes into effect just as the old one expires. It targets 60 economies over what the U.S. describes as forced labor practices. The impact here is likely mostly significant on small and mid-sized businesses. They import a lot, and then customers who pay higher prices as a result of that. Now remember, the reciprocal tariffs, those were largely struck down by the Supreme Court. A number of companies at this point are even getting refunds for those.
Canada's facing the 50% tax on the wide range of products it sends to the U.S. Those were announced just the other day, and started a 30-day clock to get back to the negotiating table.
Now, there's a shakeup in Vice President Vance's Secret Service detail. The agent assigned to protect him now under investigation, accused of leaking information. Here's Jay O'Brien.
We're learning, according to the Secret Service, that agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's detail is facing an internal investigation and a potential criminal probe over accusations that this unnamed agent leaked information about the Vice President's travel and potentially compromised the VP's security. In a statement, the Secret Service saying that, quote, any conduct that potentially threatens the safety of a protectee will not be tolerated.
So the agent is thought to be a source for the MS Now story that claimed Vance's detail was frustrated with the second family for making special requests. Story reported that Vance's detail had been asked to travel with the VP and his son aboard Marine 2. So his son could make his golf lesson at Joint Base Andrews. It was reported that some agents considered the request inappropriate.
They're going to be the future, but a lot of people don't want those AI data centers in their neighborhoods. 14 states now considering banning them altogether. Even some former supporters are starting to jump off the AI train. Jim Ryan's in Texas. There's more than 300 of these there.
It was November of last year that Governor Greg Abbott sat beside Google Chair Sundar Pichai and declared,
Texas will be the centerpiece for AI data centers.
New polling suggests a majority of Abbott's constituents oppose data centers. 8 months after his meeting with Pichai,
we must prohibit them from building AI data centers in rural Texas neighborhoods.
A coalition of AI firms says data centers pump $4.5 billion into the state's economy every year. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas-Fort Worth.
It's 8:41.
Picture this. You're on magician duty at your kid's birthday, and it's also car shopping day. Sounds tough, right? Not with Amazon Autos. Shop for your car online, pick it up at the dealership, so you can get back to making magic. Visit Amazon.com/autos.
Starboard Leaking Glendale is giving everybody employee pricing. Seriously, these deals are so low. Even the employees are like, wait, we get that price? Save big on trucks, SUVs, electric vehicles, all in one spot. Starboard Leaking Glendale. Good deals, good people. Go today. Tell them Johnny sent you.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-966-3144. That's 800-966-3144. 800-966-3144.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. It's a needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes. Smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft shoes work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Hey, it's Drew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use the fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Good morning, Mike Simpson and Brian Douglas here on KNX News. Friday, we're going to talk to Evan Lovett. He's standing by. 845 local traffic now brought to you by Yamaha Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Here's Sabina Mora.
All right, going to go over to the South 57, which has been tough to Imperial. That was a 2-car crash in the center divider. There's still a pretty big backup from Pathfinder. Using State College instead to get around some of this is a possibility. Looks like traffic is actually not too bad on surface streets or even Brea Boulevard. That would be your downtown, your law group accident and injury attorney route you can trust. On the westbound side of the 91, the crash at 560 in Anaheim Hills, leaving your Belinda. So fortunately, that's a much better drive into Anaheim if you're trying to get to the 57. Quick look at the 5 freeway heading northbound, and this is from before the 10 Boyle Heights area to Lincoln Heights, connecting with the 110 and connecting with the 2. I'm still looking at traffic that's pretty tough through that stretch, but the crash on the 5 southbound at Garfield did clear out of the way, so traffic is starting to improve through that area. I see the brake lights that are not as slow into Downey. The 5 closure is our ongoing signaler. It's the off-ramp on the southbound 5 at Verdugo that's blocked, and that was an early morning crash with the big rig. Now there's some repair work to do. Robert Plant returns to Yamaha Resort and Casino at San Manuel September 26th. Get your tickets at the casino box office or YamahaTheater.com. That's Robert Plant with Saving Grace and Susie Deanne performing live September 26th at Yamaha. Must be 21 to enter. That's KNX traffic from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
This alert is specifically for the inland areas. So we are talking about the Inland Empire, forests of our valleys, into our desert communities, with the temperatures exceeding triple digits. So keep that in mind. The problem also is that overnight temperatures still above average, so we're not getting relief in the evening hours. On top of that, we are seeing some humidity that winter from the hurricane outburst. So we see temperatures scale back just fine on Monday and Tuesday next week, but we're still seeing above average. So again, CBS 8's Blake Austin, KNX.
8:47. We made it to Friday. Means it's time to be joined by Evan Lovett. He's got the In a Minute with Evan Lovett podcast. It comes out on Mondays. The Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcast. It's been hot. It's been muggy. So it's great that today is the perfect day.
Yes, please, Evan.
National Tequila Day.
What is up? Is it too early to start, by the way, right now?
We have a guy come in at 9:45 to do some tequila tastings with us. So no, I don't think it is.
So on a Friday, on a summer Friday, let's get going. Let's go. No, Tequila Day, beautiful and appropriate because LA has a deep, surprisingly, right? A deep history of tequila. Going back 175 years, the first reports of tequila in the first newspaper, El Amor Publico, and tequila was a widely advertised spirit and was first known as being served in restaurants in Los Angeles in 1882. From that point forward, we have become the largest tequila consuming city in the United States with more than 1 million cases of tequila consumed annually right here in Los Angeles.
Good. That is the list I'm happy we're on. You know what? Good for us. We're number one. Favorite place in town to go get a margarita? Where is it?
Not even a question for me. It's Casa Vega, queen of margaritas. They do a perfect house margarita. Sometimes you get the Cadillac, which they're known for. Although that's a little old school. I like a traditional margarita, but beautiful, dark, moody restaurant with their new patio, inside, outside. You can't go wrong. I love coffee.
Let's go around the table. Brian Douglas, you got it?
I haven't been there in a long time. There's a place over this side, Evan, called El Coyote. I'm sure you've been there. Come on, their margaritas are pretty good.
At least once I'm at El Coyote. Compadre's got a flaming hot too, where they put the slice of fruit and then they put the extra spicy alcohol in there and then light those on so those come on fire. Those are kind of fun.
Listen, I got a question for you guys. What do you think? Well, what was the place? It's more trivia. What was the place that popularized the margarita in Los Angeles?
That's a good question. Well, what is it?
Yeah.
You tell me.
It was called O. Henry's Tale of the Cock on La Cienega. This is not a joke, from the 1930s to the 1970s, they served more tequila at one restaurant than any other region in the United States. That's how popular they made the margarita out here, at least in LA.
Nice. One more thing while we've got you here. You know, we had the story on the other day, and there was a lot of reaction to it. The Metro Board was considering getting rid of the money for Ciclovia and putting it towards something for the Olympics. And then, like, thousands of people wrote in and said, oh, no, you got to find a way. You got to find a way to keep it. So now they will, they say, at least for the next few years, which is good news, because that's so fun. I think we've all done it, being out there on the streets of biking or skating, and it's nice to have like a 5 or 6 mile stretch and go explore your neighborhood or somebody else.
I will never forget when the Ciclovia on the 6th Street viaduct, after that thing opened, I want to say in 2022, that was such an incredible way to go from Boyle Heights to the city. And, you know, I just love that skyline. I think that's a great landmark, especially once we replace that copper wiring. But it is such a beautiful landmark. And it was really a special, and that was the first time I participated. I'd seen it before. You know, in the valley they have it, I think every couple years they mix in a valley route, although that should be in the rotation. But that was one of my most memorable, and it really is a great thing, because look, we know LA is a commuting by car city. We're trying to mix in all the other types of transportation, but there's no better way to see it than at ground level, whether it's on foot or on a bike. And it really just bringing the community together. You always get that energy, and you get people exploring all these great neighborhoods at the same time. It really is an uplifting community event. And I'm glad that, what was it, the city council, Mayor Bass, whoever it was.
Yeah, Metro Board decided to keep the funding, yeah.
Metro, but that they were able, because it is important in any of those community events that we're all able to participate in. It's so important for us.
All right, Evan Lovett, he's got the podcast In a Minute with Evan Lovett. Go and listen on Monday. Check your money now. Here's Tom Busby.
Well, with today's expiration of a baseline 10% tariff on all imports, it's been in place 150 days, the Trump administration announced a new round of tariffs, 10 to 12.5% on goods from about 60 major U.S. trading partners. Here's the claim that those nations failed to stop the use of forced labor in their supply chains. That harms U.S. workers. It's a reason that's expected to stand on stronger legal ground than the former tariffs of the president, which were deemed unconstitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court. A lot of businesses saw this coming, so it may not be a surprise to many. Some countries, including New Zealand, are already pushing back. So there may be some court challenges ahead. On Wall Street, after that massive AI-related sell-off on Thursday, investors feeling a little more optimistic today, thanks in large part to oil prices easing up quite a bit. Right now, you have the Dow up 360 points, 2/3% higher. The NASDAQ is up only 18 points. Chipmaker stock still lower. The S&P is up 41, and oil is down almost 4%, 88.65 a barrel. And Ford is recalling nearly 500,000 Ford Broncos. They want to fix a wiring harness in the engine can short circuit, increasing the risk of a fire. I'm Bloomberg's Tom Busby from the DTLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys Money Desk. Injury? Accident? Text Injury Help to 40222.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos. An intestinal illness that causes explosive diarrhea is seeing a seasonal surge. Cyclosporiasis spreads through contaminated food or water but can be treated with antibiotics. Health officials urge restaurants and residents to buy whole heads of lettuce instead of pre-washed bags. Also thoroughly wash cilantro, basil, and green onions. The only surefire way to kill the parasite is cooking vegetables to at least 158 degrees. I'm Margie Schaefer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Picture this. Today's your kid's birthday, and you're on magician duty. But today's also car shopping day. Sounds about as easy as getting your kid to eat their entire lunch, right? Not with Amazon Autos. With Amazon Autos, you can car shop from pretty much anywhere. Just pick out your car online and pick it up at the dealership. It's that simple. No haggling, no surprises, no weekend up in smoke. So you can spend more time on making magic. Amazon Autos. Add car to cart. Visit Amazon.com/autos.
Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place.
All right, you might think you know what's going on, but how well do you know your news on KNX?
I think you're smart. Well, we tell you the news every day here on KNX, and now it's time to test your knowledge. Head to our Instagram story, play our game, Know Your News. You get 4 questions, 4 guesses, all about the biggest headlines we shared with you throughout the week, and answers announced online at 5 o'clock. So good luck, and says you're going to need it. I don't think you're going to need good luck because, again,
You're all very smart.
Yes.
You've been to go see Gypsy Kings at the Grove of Anaheim August 6th. Just go to knxnews.com/contest and sign up there, knxnews.com/contest. And you might win these 2 tickets to see Gypsy Kings at the Grove of Anaheim August 6th. If you want to buy tickets, they're on Ticketmaster, ticketmaster.com.
8:55.
Brought to you by DTLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys. Here's Sabina Mora.
Yeah, that's one of those concerts. It's like an exercise routine and a concert. You're gonna be sweating and having a good time, that's for sure. All right, let's go over to the northbound side of the 5 freeway. If you're trying to get over to the City of Commerce, we do have a car stuck just past the 710. That should have cleared out of the way. Southbound traffic crash at Garfield also moved to the right shoulder. There's still a backup from Indiana. If you're trying to get over through Lincoln Heights over to the Act 2 connector, I still see the congestion, although as far as closure is nothing new. Caltrans is out there on the southbound side of the 5 freeway. This is just before you get to Stadium Way, so they're setting up for some kind of closure, and that's definitely tying things up. The newer problem on the 55 heading southbound, your Southern California Toyota dealers Instant iView. Just before Beverly, there's some activity. It may be a fender bender there at Whittier Boulevard. CHP's on their way to see what's happening, or a car that broke down. And on the 57 south at Imperial, that collision cleared off the freeway. They were stuck in the center divider for some time. There's still some slowing, leaving Pathfinder, getting past that. A bit sluggish to the 91 before it picks up to Anaheim if you're in a hurry to get to the 22. If you've been a victim of someone's negligence, slip and fall, or assault, Google calldowntown.com. Contact attorney Fareed, DTLA Law Group, 540 Santa Fe Avenue. Results may vary. Go to calldowntown.com. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
It's 80s, 90s, triple digits for the afternoon. We're still doing this heat wave. We're going to do it for a while. Still triple digits into parts of next week, too. The humidity is still with us right now. That should probably lessen, so at least we can wait for that. But for today, as high as 105 in some of the valley spots and for the IE, and just a degree or two down as we get into tomorrow.
With July being National Baked Bean Month, Ma says that if I win the Chevy Silverado at Morongo, I'll finally have a place to sleep after dinner. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
We're giving away a Chevy Silverado truck. Earn entries now, and you can drive off a winner the 26th.
Number 4.
The Oasis Pool is paradise when Green Today plays the music of Green Day. August 6th, free for Morongo Rewards members.
3.
Michael Bean's got dough, and he's bringing them to Morongo on August 8th. Get tickets now.
And the number 2.
Don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center prices are the lowest priced gas around.
And the number 1 reason.
The hottest nighttime pool party in SoCal. Live DJ, drinks, dancing, Flamingo Fridays is on.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good time.
Who still listens to the radio? I'll tell you, the people who trust the comforting voices of our community. The accident guides have been proudly serving our community for over a decade.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guide.
If your home got flooded from a broken pipe, a toilet overflow, or rain, you should call Public Adjuster Avner Gatt. Avner and his team will negotiate with your homeowner's insurance for the best settlement. Call him now, 818-917-5256, or go to avnergatt.com. avnergatt.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER at Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business?
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
KNX-FM HD2, Los Angeles. This is Southern California's news.
Coming up, LeBron's made his decision on where he's going. It's Philadelphia, going to the 76ers.
Very excited about that personally. Homeless count comes out this afternoon, but we already kind of know the numbers have gone up.
Update on Jackie, the bald eagle. She got a blood transfusion at the rehab. Still kind of touch and go right now.
Only on KNX.
ABC News, it's 9 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. Called Gray, the teen accused of killing 2 teachers and 2 students in the 2024 Appalachia High School shooting in Georgia has pleaded guilty to all 55 charges in court this morning. Gray now faces a minimum life sentence. A jury in March convicted Gray's father, Collins, on charges of second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter after reportedly giving his son the rifle he later used in the massacre. Wisconsin residents want clear answers from authorities after a police-involved shooting earlier this week. ABC's Pierre Thomas.
A community mourning the death of Corey Ruiz, a black man fatally shot during a violent encounter with police. The vigil coming only hours after a bizarre moment when city leaders tried to provide an update to the community about Ruiz's death.
Because we don't want to hear anything you've been saying.
A man spewing anti-Semitic and anti-capitalism views suddenly emerges from the audience and literally takes the microphone from the Madison police chief.
Wisconsin Department of Justice is leading the investigation. New questions today regarding the status of a deal that would see the U.S. working with Saudi Arabia to develop a civilian nuclear power program for the Saudis. ABC's Mary Bruce. The president is now dramatically changing the terms with a new condition that could put the entire deal out of reach. Trump saying it is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. But that remains highly unlikely. It would require Saudi Arabia to normalize diplomatic relations with Israel, something they have refused to do unless Israel commits to a Palestinian state. Sean Diddy Combs got it till Poseidon was sent to solitary confinement at FBI Fort Dix, where he's serving 50 months for transporting prostitutes. You were listening to ABC News.
From the UCLA Law Group Injury Health Studios, this is LA's Morning News on KNX.
Good morning. I'm Mike Simpson.
I'm Brian Douglas in for Margaret Carrero. So after dropping 2 years in a row now, homelessness in LA has actually gone up despite all that taxpayer money that was spent to get people off the street and indoors. John Baird's been talking to folks in Westchester all about it.
Doing the homeless count can't be easy. The homeless are everywhere, not just under overpasses or camped out in the bushes near freeways. Still, the numbers coming out today show a 3.4% overall increase in the homeless population in the city of LA, and an 8% increase in the number of people either living outdoors or in their vehicles. I was talking to a man named Jose who was grabbing coffee this morning. Do you believe the numbers? I mean, they have the count everywhere.
I don't trust too much in the country.
Oh, you don't trust the government much?
No.
He says the homeless need more help, economic help or education.
The problem is something that happens with the government because they don't pay attention to that people. When I see a bunch of these people, I feel bad. They don't want to work. This is the first thing. They don't want to work. And another thing I don't agree, they are always right next to the schools.
Another man said the cost of housing in LA is the culprit, the high price for rent. The mayor notes that LA, though, has reduced the unsheltered population by 11% since 2023. I'm John Baird, KNX News.
Rand has their own study. They look at homelessness in Hollywood, Skid Row, and Venice. Their numbers have been higher than Lawson's the last couple of years. We talked to Rand's Dr. Sarah Hunter. She says they've noticed a change recently.
We've been looking at a real change in the composition of people living outside over the course of the last 5 years that we've been counting. So we're seeing the number of towns go down dramatically, but an increase in the number of people living literally unsheltered without any sort of informal shelter and in their cars or vehicles.
We also spoke with Adam Murray. He's the CEO of the Inner City Law Center. It's a nonprofit poverty law firm. He says, here's what he thinks needs to be done to get these numbers down.
First, we're going to have to build a lot more affordable housing. The root of the housing crisis, the homelessness crisis, is that people just can't afford the rent, and that's increasingly the case. And then secondly, we're going to have to do a lot more to prevent homelessness before it happens, to work with families and individuals who are very prepared to be housed, struggling to find that housing, and find ways to keep them in their housing and don't become homelessness.
He also says, in general, about 30 to 40% of the homeless are dealing with mental health or drug addiction issues.
Just about 9:05.
Sabina Mora in the Downey Hyundai Traffic Center.
All right, the Friday commute on the 101. Let's see if anything new is popping up here. Still looks a bit slow from Vermont heading southbound, approaching the 110. But as far as major closures, nothing in your way. In fact, the northbound traffic through downtown is still a struggle from Whittier Boulevard, just north of the East LA interchange to the 110 connector. But as you get closer to Alvarado, it does clear up to Silver Lake Boulevard, and then not too bad into Universal City up ahead. Crash on the 5 south at Garfield did clear, so traffic looks much better through that stretch. If you see something out there causing delays, you can always tell us about it. KNX Valvoline instant oil change traffic tip line 844 KNX News, and 57 southbound crash at Imperial Highway. It's in the clearing stages, but there's still a backup from about Lambert heading past clear up to the 91, looking much better into Anaheim. In the IE on the northbound 71, just past the 91 before Euclid, that 2-car crash is in the clearing stages as well. Looks like the tow truck is taking the last vehicle off the freeway, so you should see a little bit of improvement from the 91 freeway.
Thank you. Don't mess with Ciclavia. Metro Board was considering actually pulling funding for the event. We talked about this yesterday. They were going to take that money and put it forward to the 2020 Olympic fan zone. The public was no, not so fast. So after an outpouring of support, the Metro Board unanimously voted yesterday to order its staff to find funding for Ciclavia and other open street events here. Ciclavia said supporters submitted more than 3,000 pages of public comment urging leaders to keep this event alive. And I've done it twice, and it's a lot of fun. This woman works at a bike shop in downtown LA. She explains to CBS LA why the event is so important.
The beauty of Ciclavia is
that it kind of brings like people from all of the different corners of bike culture together under one like umbrella.
Cyclavia organizes Thanks to the Air. Also, LA County Supervisor
本が済んだらさっと抜けれるから普通のアルバイトしたらね抜けにくいの
Bike, skate, or just walk the roads. Cars are not allowed.
Getting gas today, the gas prices are up again, the oil prices are up again, back up to $100 a barrel, and maybe it's going to get a lot worse.
How about $150? That might be on its way, says energy industry analyst Andrew Lippau.
A lot of people are forecasting we could get that high, and certainly that's a possibility the longer that the supply disruption goes on, because once you draw down your inventories, there is no cushion that's left around the world.
Roughly 14 million barrels of crude oil had been moving through the Strait of Hormuz each day. Lippau says pipelines can redirect some of it, but nowhere near all of it.
About 5 or 7 million barrels a day of that has been diverted into pipelines. But right now, there's really simply no way that the world could increase production to offset that remaining 7 million barrels a day of lost supply.
China has helped soften the blow because of its massive oil stockpile, weaker demand, and growing use of electric vehicles. But Lippau warns the market could tighten further if China is forced to begin buying heavily again. I'm Brian Kay, KNX News.
Gas is up 17 cents in LA County over the last week. Average gallon in LA, $5.64, $5.59 in Orange County.
It kind of sounds like a soap opera here. Situation with Jackie, the Big Bear, bald eagle. So Jackie's getting treatment there, including a life-saving blood transfusion. A younger female eagle was seen possibly moving in on her territory. Her mate, Shadow. Now, as far as Jackie's health, the Ojai Raptor Center thinks Jackie was already sick before she was seen fighting with two younger eagles. Last week, one of those eagles, female eagle, they think is hanging out with a Shadow there. And the good news is Jackie has that's really good for kidney inflammation. That happens for
Initial testing has allowed us to rule out several potential causes, including lead toxicosis and the presence of foreign items such as fishing hooks, lines, and weights.
That's positive. That says she remains bright and strong. You can turn in a moment. As far as Shadow moving on with the younger eagle,
we have time. So everybody's all worried that he's going to move on, and he shouldn't.
No, Shadow's going to take it very slowly. Shadow, by the way, isn't expected to look for a possible new mate until his hormones kick in. Even January.
In Boyle Heights, there was a fire and the smoke, and then it was the rats, and then it was the bugs. Yeah, they got swarms of them out there. Showing up after the warehouse fire. Millions of pounds of food still rotting. Cleanup continues. NBC4 got a look at a report from a pest control company. They figured out exactly what some of them are. Green bottle flies. They reproduce really quickly in waste, particularly during hot weather, like what we've been seeing. They can also carry diseases that can infect humans and animals. Neighbors say they got to keep their homes sealed up, but first because of the smell, but then also because of the flies. Lineage, the company that ran the cold storage, says it handed out 350 fly traps, and they plan to hand out 800 more.
Longtime Laker LeBron James has officially picked his new team. I think this announcement came a little sooner than most of us were expecting. His agent Rich Paul tells ESPN that LeBron taking his talents to Philadelphia. He's going to start his record 24th season with the Sixers. And as someone with family back east, I've already gotten I'm starting to get the text on and off. I'm like, yeah, I know, he's going. LeBron James. Yeah, I get it. This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What I'm really going for is basically playing now. This will be with the Sixers. 2-year contract, $8 million. You know, they thought for a while two favors. If you looked at people betting on money or people betting on this, they were saying either Kelsey, the prediction markets. That's what I'm trying to say. They were either thinking Cleveland because that's where he got his start. That's where he's from. His wife is from Akron, just south of Cleveland there. Or they were thinking Miami, but no, Philadelphia. That came into the fold a little bit later on. But there it is. LeBron going to the Sixers.
Good news for that water main break in West Hollywood. They made repairs to the new leak, the smaller one they found the other day. So they're doing the testing. They still say they are on schedule to reopen Sunset sometime today. They are thinking probably tonight.
I don't know.
In a world where windows need a hero, California Deluxe Windows. Our name says it all.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of adults, both men and women, suffer from varicose or spider veins. And this is not just a cosmetic problem.
If left untreated, varicose veins can lead to severe swelling, cramping, heavy bleeding, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, permanent paralysis, and worst case, blood clots, which can be life-threatening. But here's the good news. USA Vein Clinics offer plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up the problem. And the procedure is fast and simple. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your varicose vein problems will not go away on their own. Call USA Vein Clinics today for free information on fast and easy solutions covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. Call 800-452-0119 today.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I haven't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me, they calm me down, they make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima.
Company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. A robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
I'm Brian Douglas coming up. Feel your emotions getting all worked up, feeling hot under the collar.
That's just me at work, man.
Same here. Or also could have something to do with the heat. It's all connected. We'll explain.
That's what I'm going to claim. I'm hot, it's humid. That's what it is. 15 brought to you by Downey Hyundai. Here's Sabina Mora.
All right, let's go south on the 605. Problems. It looks like traffic is still slow from the 60 heading southbound approaching Beverly. That was a crash that should be in the clearing stages now, but it's still a bit sluggish. If you're thinking of taking Rosemead to Lakewood, that's a possibility. That would save you a little bit of time. That's your DPLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys Refuge and Trust. Once you get past that problem, it's not as heavy into Santa Fe Springs. Traffic on the southbound 710 from Firestone to the 105 is starting to slow a little bit more now, so there may be something new at the Connector Road. I'll keep my eye on that one. 405 northbound looking better out of Long Beach from Lakewood to the 710. But getting through the South Bay curve, it's actually unusual southbound slowing. I think that's Caltrans right at Western because the backup starts at Crenshaw. Once you get past that, it should clear to the 110 connector. Purchase a new 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe or Santa Fe Hybrid. Score 0% APR for 60 months. 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days. OAC at DowneyHyundai.com. Finance through HMF. The Downey Hyundai 000 deal ends 8/26. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Good morning. Happy Friday, Southern California. We are in our next weather alert today into tomorrow. That is for the inland areas. We're seeing the temperatures soar above average, triple digits in the mix. Again, that's going to continue through Saturday, but that warming trend sticking around for the immediate future. So keep that in mind. Overnight temperatures as well staying above average through next week. That's your next weather. I'm CBS Slate's Clay Carlson, KNX News.
All right, let's talk about our emotions. Let's talk about you burning up and just getting really uptight and upset during a heat wave. Well, it's not all in your head. Here's Emily Valdez to explain.
Do your emotions blister when the sun is scorching? Well, heat rage is not an official diagnosis. It is kind of a thing.
Research links higher temperatures with greater irritability, impulsivity, and interpersonal conflict.
UCLA professor of epidemiology, Dr. Anne Ramoyne, would prefer to call it heat irritability.
You're uncomfortable, your heart rate rises, you may become dehydrated, and concentration and impulse control can worsen. Heat can disrupt your sleep, people start the day tired and with less emotional reserve, and sometimes that combination can make ordinary frustrations feel much more provocative.
Maybe that's where the phrase, you need to cool it, should be taken literally. I'm Emily Valdez, KNX.
There was a little bit of LA and DC. Back-to-back World Series champs. The Dodgers were at the White House yesterday. Shohei was there, Freddie Freeman, Yoshi, Dave Roberts, the Rose Garden ceremony with the president.
I want to thank Dodgers owner and my friend Chairman Mark Walter for being here. Thank you, Mark. Along with President Stan Kasten and manager Dave Roberts. That's a hell of a manager. What a manager.
Team gave him a custom jersey and a ring. Mookie Betts was not there. He and his wife had a third child recently, also declined to visit when he was with Red Sox in 2019. Kike Hernandez was not there either. He's rehabbing after an injury, but he said even if he was active, he probably wouldn't have gone anyway.
Oh, you know what that is. If you're a Harry Potter fan, all aboard the train to Hogwarts. It's coming. Harry Potter train running in Paris, starting today. A little bit of a drive out to Paris, but worth it if you're a fan. It's going to be at the Southern California Railway Museum, which is actually a really cool place to go if you haven't been there. It's going to run to the end of September. And, of course, there's platform 9 3/4, just like you'd expect. If you read the books, watch the movies, you know exactly what that's all about. And then once you're on the train, you've got special food, you've got drinks there. There's also spell casting challenges, Hogwarts house-themed activities, you name it. Tickets now, $77 for adults, but again, remember, you get food, you get drinks, and $67 for kids 2 to 11. And also a big year for you Potter fans. New show on HBO set to come out right around Christmas time.
How many grandparents have watched Harry Potter with the grandkids? Parenthood never ends, especially for Grandma and Grandpa. They're putting in the work and the money to help raise their grandkids. Here's Darren Adams.
9 in 10 grandparents say they're spending money on their grandchildren. A new AARP report estimates a $172 billion a year.
Grandparents are contributing a significant amount. So what that means to me is that younger family members, they're struggling and they need that help from their grandparents.
And smart shopping expert Trey Bodge says it's a tricky situation for parents to be in.
I am in that sandwich generation, and many of my friends are as well. And it's a very tricky conversation to have with your younger and older relatives, and a very tricky equation, really.
She says especially when everything is getting more expensive and creating economic tension across generations. I'm Karen Adams, KNX News.
9:20. Let's check your money. Tom Busby.
Well, Paramount Skydance's takeover bid for Warner Brothers Discovery hitting a new roadblock. A federal judge late yesterday extending a temporary block on the $110 billion deal by 2 more weeks to August 17th, as legal challenges from a dozen states, including California and the Writers Guild, are examined. Now, Paramount agreed to pay Warner Brothers shareholders $650 million for each quarter that the deal does not close. Now, that starts October 1st. But if some of these court challenges go on and on and on, it could be very costly. After the tech sector got crushed on Thursday, Wall Street today is bouncing back, thanks in large part to oil prices moving lower. That's on hopes that after very limited strikes overnight between the U.S. and Iran, we could see a resumption of peace talks. That's the hope. Right now, it's got the Dow up 400 points, 3.5% higher. The NASDAQ now up 60 points, 0.25%, the S&P up 49. Oil down about 4%, 88.50 a barrel. Brent crude, the international standard, was $100 yesterday. It's down 96. And another food scare. Indiana-based Midwest Poultry Services voluntarily recalling 1.6 million dozen eggs because of a potential salmonella contamination. Wow, what is safe? I'm Bloomberg's Tom Busby from the DTLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys Money Desk. Injury, accident, text injury help to 40222.
We are surrounded by countless heroes across Southern California who step up with bravery and compassion to help our community in times of need. They also inspire and motivate us. I'm Heather Jordan. Nominate a KNX Hero of the Week by sending an email to heroes@knxnews.com.
Court Furniture Outlet's annual summer savings event is on now. Find everything you need for your home or office all on sale. Court Furniture prices are always super low because they lease their furniture for use in model homes, movies, and television by home stagers and corporate offices. And when the furniture comes back, they sell it for pennies on the dollar. But now you'll see even more on an incredible selection of new and previously leased home and office furniture. Everything you need to brighten up your home or make your workplace more comfortable. Choose from a selection of new reclining sectionals, sofas and love seats, bedroom sets, dining sets, mattresses, and more. Plus, now save an additional 20% off on desks, office chairs, lamps, wall art, and rugs. And 50% off on all bargain tagged items. Hurry in today. With locations in Glendale and Central, in Corona at the 91 and McKinley, and Fountain Valley at Euclid and the 405. Check them out on Google or go to CourtFurnitureOutlet.com. That's CORTFurnitureOutlet.com.
Emergencies can happen at any time. In California, that can mean the next wildfire, windstorm, earthquake, flood, or power outage. At Southern California Edison, we stay ready for the unexpected, and we encourage you to have a plan and be ready too. Build your emergency kit with things like a first aid kit, medication, a battery-powered radio, bottled water, and non-perishable foods. For more information and to update your outage alerts, visit SCE.com/be-prepared.
Avoiding shorts because of your varicose veins? Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
A weekend stuck on the couch is a weekend wasted. This is You Need to Get Out More with Natalie Davidian.
All right, looking to make the most of your weekend. Who's not? Got everything Reggae Festival's food events. Here's Natalie with our rundown.
The Orange County Fair continues in Costa Mesa with carnival rides, concerts, exhibits, and all the classic fair food. On Friday night, you can catch a free outdoor showing of Twilight during the OC Park Sunset Cinema Series in Anaheim. Saturday brings one of the weekend's biggest events as Reggae on the Mountain returns to Topanga Canyon with performances by Protege, Don Carlos, Yellow Man, and more, along with food trucks, artisan vendors, and family activities. If you're looking for something different, Let's Make a Date transforms a night out into an interactive live dating show where audience members can compete for a real date. You can also enjoy Pasadena Pop, a host to the Rat Pack, or spend the evening at Mission San Juan Capistrano for its Music Under the Stars concert series. And then on Sunday, celebrate Iranian Angelino culture at Smorgas June at Row DTLA for sample bites from local chefs, wineries, and breweries at the Terranea Food and Wine Festival overlooking the Pacific. Whether you're in the mood for reggae, great food, outdoor movies, or live music, there's something happening all across SoCal this weekend. I'm Natalie Davidian, KNX News.
It is 9:25.
Brought to you by DTLA Law Group, accident and injury attorneys. Here's Sabina Moore.
All right, the Friday drive on the 10. Let's go westbound through West Covina on the 10 freeway before the 605, right at Baldwin Park Boulevard. Thank you, Kim from West Covina, for the call. I know the backup is very heavy from Sunset. They were holding all lanes there. That was a couple of cars that collided in the carpool lane. It looks like they did manage to move everyone to the right shoulder, so traffic should be improving. If you're thinking of taking the 60, that's actually much better out of Diamond Bar westbound all the way through Hacienda Heights and over to the 605 connector. Now on the 57, the southbound traffic was busy to Imperial. That was an earlier collision. Everything's been cleared up. I still see some patchy delays, some congestion to the 91 freeway. Traffic on the northbound side of the 5 freeway getting through Santa Fe Springs. Sluggish from Imperial Highway to the 605, staying busy. The Lakewood Boulevard, it opens, and then not as slow to the eastbound interchange. Although if you're trying to head westbound, maybe to either get to the 110 or the 2 connectors, you will see some brake lights there. And our closure on the southbound side, Verdugo, it's the off-ramp that's closed. That was an early morning crash with a rig, and now they need to repair the off-ramp. So south on the side of Verdugo, that's blocked off. Hurt in the car, truck, or motorcycle accident, text injury help to 4022. Contact attorney for Reed at DTLA Law Group, 540 Santa Fe Avenue. Results may vary. Text injury help to 40222. That's KNX traffic from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Mix the sun and clouds again today. It's the heat and humidity, the hot days, the warm nights. The valleys in IE this afternoon may go as high as 105. Tomorrow, maybe just a degree or two down, and then another degree or two down for Sunday. But staying hot now. Looks like into early next week. 927.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign that policy for your business, for some of the brokers, so that's the finish line for them. Handshake commission, they are done. Maybe you don't even hear from them again until it's renewal time. Then you get that one call and they say, hey, it's renewal time. Your business, though, runs all year. The gaps are there all year. The risk is there all year. So go to Supershore. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, you're the HR manager, it can be too complex to just go search online and buy a policy there. Supershore is the super agency built for you. Licenses in every state for your business insurance and the benefits, and all of the year-round support for you and the team. Supershore.com. Go there and use the tools they've got for you. Fine print facts is a good one. It's going to translate your current policy into plain English, takes the legal terms out of there, and explains it so you actually can see what's covered and see what's not. Find the gaps before a claim finds them for you. Plus the business value calculator. That way you can get an estimate of what your business is worth, and then you actually know what needs to be protected. Supershore.com. One super.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams for highest amount of acid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Some things can steal your sunshine. I just got my hair done. Learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Need an accident attorney by your side. All you do.
From the DTLA
30. Mike Simpson.
I'm Brian Douglas into Margaret Carrero. 6th Bridge here, heading from Oil Heights over to downtown, is shut down right now. A lot of you do take that to get to work to and from. There is a person on top of one of the arches of the bridge, kind of walking back and forth. I'm looking at a live shot right now. He's shirtless, seems to be yelling, obviously troubled. Fire department is there, so they got the bridge shut down. They've got one of the hook and ladders. The ladder's extended up to the very top of the arch, just in case this guy wants to come down, but apparently he's not. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. 6th Street Bridge here. Well, obviously, Whittier Boulevard to 6th Street. That bridge across the river shut down. So the official numbers for LA's homeless count, it's coming out a little bit later on this afternoon, and of course it leaked yesterday, and it's definitely not looking good. Here's John Baird with more.
Despite the billions of dollars, all that money being poured into the homelessness problem, and despite the push by the mayor to bring more of the homeless people indoors, the numbers set to be released today show that the LA homeless population increased by 3% overall this time, but by nearly 8% when it comes to those living outdoors or in their cars. That after we saw a decrease over the previous 2 years. I've been talking to people as they've been grabbing coffee this morning, and everybody sees it differently.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. It's going up. Yeah, because, and definitely the homeless are going to do something about it for a long time, but they can't.
In a state gas is running for reelection in November, put the blame for the increase of homelessness. Funding cuts by the federal and state governments. She also believes LA County failing to provide an adequate amount of services to help those on the streets. Services like mental health and substance abuse counseling. In Westchester, I'm John Baird, KNX News.
Rand also counts the homeless every year. In Hollywood, Skid Row, and Venice, numbers have been higher than losses the last couple of years. We talked with Dr. Sarah Hunter at Rand. She says this is why it's different than LASA, which uses volunteers.
We send out professional counters who also do survey work and have, a high level of proficiency in identifying people who are homeless. And they do this work every couple months, so they get very adept. And we also do double counting independently. So, for example, people walk down the street, 2 people count independently. When they get to the end of the block, they compare their numbers. If they're off by over 10%, they go back and recount the block.
Also talked about why the numbers are on the rise. So with Adam Murray, CEO of the Inner City Law Center, nonprofit poverty law firm, he says big issue is that public housing is expensive to build in LA.
So the challenge with a lot of the public subsidies for affordable housing are that we are not just using it to build affordable housing. We're using it to achieve a whole bunch of other aims as well, some of which might be great aims, but it makes the housing a lot more expensive. So, we require living wages to be paid or prevailing wages to be paid for that construction. We require those buildings to meet very high environmental standards.
Just private housing doesn't need to meet all those standards. That's why it can be up to 60% cheaper.
Well, measles cases have skyrocketed this year. More infections being reported, too, every single day. Emily Valdez with the story.
This year, there's been 2,260 cases of measles nationwide. That's just 19 cases short of last year. And we're only 6.5 months in. UCLA professor of epidemiology, Dr. Emily. There's more measles circulating. 55,000 cases nationwide in 1989 to 1991. The Federal Vaccines for Children program was created, and then measles was eradicated as an endemic disease in the U.S. within 5 years. So, little
good for us. Our gas and oil prices are going up, and there's a new threat from the president as well. Mary Bruce fills us in.
Overnight, the U.S. launching strikes on Iran for the 13th consecutive night. Iran responding with another wave of drone attacks against U.S. assets in Kuwait. The strikes continuing as President Trump now threatens a major escalation in the war, telling Axios he's considering a massive attack bigger than ever before, saying the U.S. is prepared and that he's close to making a decision.
Concerns also rising over the potential nuclear power deal between the U.S. and the Saudis, though that deal might be in jeopardy. The agreement announced earlier this week would have the U.S. help Saudi Arabia develop a civilian nuclear energy program. Here's Here's Karen Waugh.
The deal could lock in Saudi cooperation for Trump's Iran war after Riyadh threatened U.S.-based access. But the president said the deal is totally subject to Saudi Arabia joining the very respected and successful Abraham Accords. Joining the Accords would mean normalizing relations with Israel, which Riyadh refuses to do without a path to a Palestinian state.
So also worries about whether this program could lead to the development by Saudi Arabia of a nuclear weapon.
The Department of Justice is saying they're going to continue this investigation into who leaked info to the New York Times despite withdrawing a series of subpoenas that attempted to force several times journalists to testify about their sources and give over phone records. The subpoenas were filed after the Times published these stories about concerns that the Secret Service had with the new Air Force One. That's why the president flew back from the NATO summit on the old one. Security concerns. ABC's Peter Haralambous tells us why a judge had problems with those subpoenas.
The judge pretty immediately signaled that he was either going to quash these subpoenas or he was going to force the DOJ to withdraw them, in part because the judge noted the fact that they could have done other things first. The judge pointing to court filings where the DOJ said that they're carrying out other investigative methods at the moment, that they're willing to delay the subpoenas. The judge basically saying that, that essentially means there were other things you could have done first, that you're acknowledging this was a little too early.
DOJ released a statement saying this investigation remains ongoing. We're going to pursue justice against those threatening national security by leaking info.
Another round of tariffs activated this morning, impacting about 99% of all imported items in the U.S. and leaving many wondering how much is this going to cost consumers and businesses. Elizabeth Schulze has more.
If you're a company, especially a small business, they say, what are we actually paying here? What is the rate? So that's one part of this uncertainty. The other part is, does it mean that those companies that had started to kind of accept the status quo as they face higher costs, which we've talked about from the beginning, that means importers are paying more for products. Do they absorb those or do they pass them down?
Now, since the start of President Trump's second term, his tariffs have cost the average U.S. household about $2,500 per year, and consumers and businesses bear up to 96% of the financial burden.
Not too far away, pretty soon you're going to hear these emergency sirens when the cop cars go by, new ones, but then they want you to feel it too. Here's Pete Demetrio.
A standard police siren sounds like this. But Commander Blake Chow says given the way cars are built and insulated today, not to mention all the distractions that are inside the vehicle, it's hard to get a driver's attention when police are coming up behind them.
The typical police siren, the ones that we are at a frequency where those sound waves can bounce off the vehicle and the driver not even hear it.
But now a new type of attention getter is being installed in all LAPD black and whites. That warbling sound is called a rumbler, a low-frequency pulse like a bass woofer that can penetrate the car's insulation and alert the driver. And if they still don't get the message, move to the right. The new high-tech siren also employs a synchronized public address system, where one person on the mic and one channel can be heard from dozens of police cars simultaneously. A valuable tool if an evacuation order is given or a crowd needs to be dispersed. In downtown L.A., I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX News.
Home buyers have bucked expectations again, even though the Brookings Institute finds that most Americans feel negatively about the economy. Jim Ryan says new home sales in June exceeded even the most optimistic predictions.
Despite mortgage rates that have climbed to 6.58% on a year note, new home sales reached an annualized 628,000 units in June, eclipsing the previous month's 618,000. The same report from the Census Bureau shows that the median sales price of new houses sold last month fell 3.3% to $398,300.
And by the way, the median age for all buyers is 59 years old, 941.
If your homeowner's insurance doesn't want to pay you enough to fix your home after water damage, call public adjuster Avner Gatt. Avner and his team will negotiate with your insurance for the best settlement. Call Avner Gatt now, 818-917-5256, or go to avnergatt.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams. Fantastic for templates. Read each label. Use it direct to keep out for your children.
Some things can steal your sunshine. I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken.
Anyone see my flip-flops? I
everyone, but COVID-19 can steal a lot more. I just took a COVID test. Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you struggle with cough, you know it would stay with you.
I heard my owners, Brad and Kathy, on the porch talking about getting new windows. Yay! I love makeovers. I just hope they do it right. I've seen what happens when you don't. Look at the Fosters across the street. Their windows don't fit right. Seriously, whoever installed their windows, I don't even think they measured. Different colored patches of stucco trying to hide it all. Ugh, completely botched.
Hi, I'm Aaron, founder of Custom Deluxe Windows. Every window we make is custom built for your home, not your neighbor's. We're measured carefully, installed so precisely, your house can be covered with potato chips. We wouldn't crack one.
Thanks, Aaron. Right now, get 30% off your entire order. And to celebrate our nation's 250th year, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get an additional $250 off. Call CDW at 800-843-1400. That's 800-843-1400. Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
Here's good news for folks who have a jumbo loan. The Loan Exchange, America's jumbo lender, is offering a 30-year fixed-rate loan at a 5.75% interest rate and 5.962% APR. The loan amount up to $3 million. So if you have a mortgage with an interest rate of 6% or higher, give America's jumbo lender a call at 833-436-8800. You drive around to find the cheapest gas, so why not refinance your mortgage? Every day you wait, you're wasting money on needless interest. Go to loanexchange.com or call 833-436-8800 to find out what terms will be with a new 30-year fixed-rate loan at 5.75% interest rate and 5.962% APR. NMLS 1637539. Loan is subject to credit approval. See website for licensing information, loan terms and conditions. Equal housing lender. That's loanexchange.com or call 833-436-8800 for a 30-year fixed-rate loan at 5.75% interest rate and 5.962% APR.
Avoiding shorts because of your varicose veins? Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
Good morning, KNX News. Mike and Brian with you. It is Tequila Day, National Tequila Day. So, you know what we're about to do after traffic. And Sabina, that's your cue to run on in here after this.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be bartending for us.
Okay.
Brought to you by Yamaha Resort Casino at San Manuel. Traffic now.
Going to go to Burbank, and our ongoing closure is the southbound Verdugo off-ramp blocked off. That was an early morning crash with a big rig. There's some repair work to do, so they're going to be out there until later this afternoon. Also on the southbound 5 freeway, it looks like Caltrans is on the scene in Atwater Village, approaching the 2. So there's some slowing the Stadium Way, and northbound traffic continues on the 5, just past the East LA interchange into Boyle Heights. Also want to remind you that the 6th Street Bridge is blocked off. There's an issue there, some police activity. So from the 101 to Mateo Street, you cannot use the 6th Street Bridge. That's going to be shut down for some time. And it looks like right now the freeway is open off the 101. That's a lot of traffic from the 10 heading towards the 110 connector. Casino Neo Soul Erykah Badu returns to Yamaha Resort and Casino at San Manuel September 28th. Get your tickets at the casino box office or YamavaTheater.com. It's Erykah Badu performing live in concert September 28th at Yamava. Must be 21 to enter. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
All right, we still got this heat wave doing 80s, 90s, triple digits. We'll be getting to about 105 in some of our valley spots today. So it's going to be hot and humid again all the way into next week. We'll be doing these triples. So it's hot. Maybe you could use a nice cocktail and get to the end of your work day and go, man, I need a drink. That's me right now, the end of my work day. So we might as well have a drink. It happens to be National Tequila Day, so we have brought back one of our favorite guests. It's Mr. Suave Agave.
Oh, that is me. I am Suave. I am Agave. I drink a lot of tequila, and I know a lot about it.
Listen, we like you without the alcohol, but it's also to bring it. So thanks for coming back.
Absolutely.
What are we doing with the tequila bag?
So, yeah, we're going to make some donuts. Why not? Because it's actually the national cocktail for Mexico.
The biggest margarita.
The biggest margarita? Yeah. I want to do the brain music. That's right. That's right. You got to do it, right? So I bought obviously we're celebrating tequila. We got it's not an unusual process tequila because it comes from like a whole family of farmers. They were in the field. They have roots to tequila, and they know how to make proper stuff. So no additives in it. There's 3 ingredients in tequila in case you guys want to know. Tequila, water, agave. That's all it should be. There's some other stuff, but if you want to get a right tequila, you get one with it.
3 bucks in it, and that's
it. That's all you need.
Now, what's in a Paloma? Because that's also easy. That's one group of people like it for the summer.
Absolutely.
You know what? You need a shot for us.
Yeah.
2 shots because the cap's still on there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you know, hey, you know.
He's like, why isn't it coming out of the bottle?
Whatever your heart feels, you know, usually 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces. Yeah, you're planning to and you know what it's just all right. Some grapefruit also. So typically, work, you know, has a little more sugar in there, but you don't have to right? Please got one juice and cider.
Tequila, grapefruit soda, or grapefruit juice and lime.
Absolutely. Nice and refreshing. A lot of people keep drinking right there in the field, and you see my little really enjoy it. And also Mexico, hey, it's good made for a good party, man. Heck yeah, cantaditos, all that, right? So, and then you drink with your eyes, right? And you gotta garnish it too. So you gotta make it. You gotta give it everlasting bam on it, right?
Half a
Bam. Look at how
beautiful.
Gorgeous. Look at that, right? You gotta make it look pretty, you know? So here we go. Need a little more tequila, you know, in the middle.
That's pretty good. This is really good.
Right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Great.
Love it.
This is why this is always on those, like, what's the drink of the summer list? So you can always land on a Paloma and say that's the drink of the summer.
Very easy, right? And then also, if you wanted to flavor it, I mean, put a little strawberry syrup if you wanted it. If you want to put a mango, if you want to do anything like that. That's what's cool about the syrup. It's like, it's very versatile, soaks it all up, and you responsibly, okay? You get a new properly, all right?
Paloma, it means dove in Spanish, right? So drinking Paloma creates peace.
Tequila has to come from at least actually 5 states in Mexico where you can produce tequila.
Absolutely. There's 5 different states, but the main state is going to be in Jalisco, and there's some highlands, and that's the main areas where tequila is. Majority of it comes, but there are different areas. Don't be only in Jalisco.
Some people are wine drinkers or beer drinkers. Some people say, you know, I stick to gin, the bourbon, or whiskey. You're not a tequila fan. Maybe you just don't know that you are. Is there a translation for each one? Like, if you're into whiskey, can you easily get into tequila? Where do you look for it?
Yeah, what I usually do for bourbon drinkers or whiskey or scotch drinkers, you go with an aged tequila, which is going to be maybe like añejo, or actually aged in bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
So they usually
way there already.
Yeah, I know, right? There's the gateway into tequila, so you're going to get a lot of those wood notes, smokiness, that char right from the barrel. So a lot of times for bourbon drinkers, you do want to start with more, you kind of go backwards, right? You want to start with age, because I say, like, Scotch drinkers, that they drink a lot of expensive.
Yeah.
So they're used to that.
What you used to, yeah.
Exactly, right? And then you kind of go backwards, and you can kind of ease your way into
Maybe it's the problem for anybody trying something new. If you're going straight to the low shelf stuff, then maybe you're not going to like it anyway.
Right.
And you got used to something else.
And that's the problem, right? Last night, a time in TJ, I was there drinking Jose Cuervo, and I had a crazy time, right? Yeah, so
we all have a story.
You have some stories, got some bad memories. No, yeah, so if you want to do it properly, get you some good quality, and don't overindulge. The biggest thing I can tell you about tequila, and this is what I say, my motto, that I can finish off with this, is that with tequila, the reason why you want to know more about it is that way you can learn to appreciate it, and when you appreciate something, you're less likely to abuse it.
Yeah. And what's the price point on this that we have here?
Oh, so Cabal, so this one, it's about $50. So if you want to get like a good, you can get good ones for about $30, $40. But Cabal, right there, right in the middle, a good one, so you can go for about $55, $40.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where do we find you? And thanks again for coming in on like your holiday, National Tequila.
Oh, absolutely. You guys can keep that bottle too, you know.
Thank
so,
you.
I expect you guys, you need to get a little bit. Absolutely. I'm Mr. Suave Agave. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. That's my website as well, MrSuaveAgave.com. I do parties, bartending. I do all that. I do tasting. It's fun. I make it fun.
Perfect.
You know?
We had fun.
Great. You can come back anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Checking money here. Tom Buckley.
President Trump continues his story, man. Nuclear reactor companies in the White House today. The administration looking to expedite development of those nuclear reactors, big and small, future source of power stocks on the rebound today, mostly because oil is lower on early hopes for peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. The Dow's up 274.7% higher. The Nasdaq is down 27. The S&P up 27. Oil down 4%, 88.28 a barrel. Because of rising costs, India buying chipmaker Qualcomm, the nation's biggest maker of smartphone processors, warning its customers double-digit price increases start in September. And toy maker Mattel today unveiling the Angel Reese Barbie doll. Former LSU Darker, former WNBA Atlanta Dreams, dressed all in pink. She's combining Barbie. I know that feeling. I'm Bloomberg's Tom Busby from the DCLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys Money Desk. Injury, accident, fixed injury help 4022.
Toyota's We Make It Easy sales event is here to keep your summer moving. Get great deals on Toyotas built for any summer adventure. Like the all-hybrid Camry with efficiency and style that never cools down. Tacoma with the power to take your summer to new heights. Or RAV4 Hybrid with the versatility and range for all your plans. Don't miss great deals on Toyota's most popular models. We make it easy. Toyota. Let's go places.
What can you do at Toyota.com? Better question, what can't you do? Because at Toyota.com, you can check out our latest models, search our inventory, and see our latest offers. You can even build and price your new Toyota right online, picking the exact model and color that's right for you. Whether you just want to download a brochure or you're ready to buy, all things Toyota are at Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of adults, both men and women, suffer from varicose or spider veins. And this is not just a cosmetic problem. If left untreated, varicose veins can lead to severe swelling, cramping, heavy bleeding, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, permanent paralysis, and worst case, blood clots, which can be life-threatening. But here's the good news. USA Vein Clinics offer plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up the problem. And the procedure is fast and simple. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your varicose vein problems will not go away on their own. Call USA Vein Clinics today for free information on fast and easy solutions covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. Call 800-452-0119 today.
Need an accident attorney by your side. All you got to do is call the accident guy.
All right, let's say the thank yous to our producers, Nate Ward and Jeff Blodgett.
Our writers, Becca Ludman, Paul Gomez, Betsy Chase.
KNXNews.com, Daniel with Robio.
And our news production coordinator, Jerry Reynoso.
9:55, our bartender, Green, Sabina Mora.
Yes, bartender, and we're feeling those Friday vibes, that's for sure. Let's go north on the 405 freeway. Just before you get to the 55 connector, that's a newer fender bender, but they're moving to the right shoulder, which is what you want to do if you can. Out of Irvine, I see a little bit of slowing from Jamboree to the 55. Otherwise, it picks up into Costa Mesa. The southbound traffic is really recovered on the 405 approaching Beach Boulevard. That's not as slow. If you're trying to head north on the 5 from Norwalk to the 605 or to get over to Lakewood Boulevard, you're going to see that stop and go. Picks up at the 710 East LA interchange, and we lost some earlier problems on the south side of the 5 freeway from the 710 to Lakewood. If you see something out there that's causing traffic to bunch up, please let us know. KNX Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line, 844 KNX News. Susie in at 10 a.m. You can let her know what's going on. And our ongoing SIG alert is on the 5 freeway southbound at Verdugo. It looks like the off-ramp is going to stay blocked off until later this afternoon. That was an early morning crash at the Big Rig. There was some damage to the off-ramp, and they need to shut down those lanes. Also, in the backup traffic, better from Sun Valley, though, heading southbound. If you're trying to get over to Buena Vista, earlier issues there have been cleared as well. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
80s, 90s, triple digits, as high as 105 in some of the Valley and IE spots this afternoon. Down a degree or two tomorrow, and then maybe a degree or two more for Sunday, 9:57.
With July being National Baked Bean Month, Ma said that if I win the Chevy Silverado at Morongo, I'll finally have a place to sleep after dinner. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
We're giving away a Chevy Silverado truck. Earn entries now, and you could drive off a winner, the 26th.
Number 4.
The Oasis pool is paradise when Green Today plays the music of Green Day. August 6th. Free for Morongo Rewards members.
Free.
Cecil B has got dope, and he's bringing them to Morongo on August 8th. Get tickets now.
And the number 2.
Don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center prices are the lowest priced gas around.
And the number 1 reason.
The hottest nighttime pool party in SoCal. Live DJ, drinks, dancing, Flamingo Fridays is on.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good time.
For a lot of workplaces, the work week doesn't end on Friday. That's why there's EasyCater, the best way to order food from favorite restaurants for your hardworking team, even on weekends. With EasyCater, you'll find great options for any group size and any shift, with tools to help meet dietary needs, stay on budget, and simplify expenses, all backed by our award-winning 24/7 support. EasyCater, your Monday through Sunday workplace food platform. Start an order for your weekend crew at EasyCater.com.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
KNX FM HD2, Los Angeles. This is Southern California's news. KNX.
I'm Brian Douglas. Coming up, we finally know where LeBron James is headed. He's headed to the Sixers. Philadelphia. We'll chat. Also, we get the official numbers on the homeless count in L.A. a little bit later on this afternoon. We know those numbers are going up, and Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood, scheduled to be open later today.
Only on KNX.
All that coming up, your traffic as well. First, ABC News. It's 10 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. As the U.S. military launches a 13th straight night of attacks, Iran is again responding, by targeting American allies in the region. ABC's Mary Bruce.
Iran this morning is out with a stark new warning telling civilians in countries that are hosting U.S. military personnel to stay at least 500 meters from any building suspected of housing American forces.
Another round of tariffs coming from the White House this morning, affecting about 99% of all imported items in the country, and many wondering now, what will this do to costs? ABC's Elizabeth Chelsea.
If you're a company, especially a small business, they say, what are we actually paying here? What is the rate? So that's one part of this uncertainty. The other part is, does it mean that those companies that had started to kind of accept the status quo as they face higher costs, which we've talked about from the beginning, that means importers are paying more for products. Do they absorb those or do they pass them down?
Jackson County, Mississippi DA Angel Myers McElrath is speaking out for the first time since the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Wells was last seen with friends July 4th off Horn Island. Once his body was found, authorities said they believed his death was an accidental drowning. But the family says that came too hastily and want more answers, pointing to an independent autopsy that found the cause of his death to be inconclusive. ABC's Aaron Katursky.
She met last week with Wells' parents, who pledged to allow investigators to examine his phone, which he left behind in a boat during a July 4th trip with friends to Horn Island. Few details have been released, but the district attorney says that's by design.
The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. Our responsibility to Nolan and our community is to complete this investigation thoroughly, carefully, without compromise.
Singer Chris Brown pleaded guilty in a London court this morning to an altercation at a nightclub there 3 years ago. The plea allows Brown to avoid a trial. You're listening to ABC News.
From the DTLA Law Group Injury Health Studio, this is Southern California's news. KNX.
It is 10:02. As always, thanks for listening. Good morning. I'm Brian Douglas. Just an update on this man now. On top of one of the arches of the 6th Street Bridge, of course, as you head over to downtown, he is still up there. I'm looking at a live picture right now. He is on top of one of the arches. He's been there for about 90 minutes. He is now laying face down, his face kind of hanging over, looking at the road below, which is filled with fire trucks. Of course, LA Fire responding to this, LAPD as well. So 6th Street Bridge, needless to say, Whittier Boulevard turns to 6th Street there. That is shut down. The man is shirtless. He is agitated. And at one point, there's a hook and ladder there. So the ladder itself is right at the top of the arch. So if that man wants to come down, he can come down. But he was agitated to the point where he was taking the ladder, shaking it, almost looking like he wanted it away from him. He still remains on the arch of the bridge here. Again, firefighters still there, LAPD still there, and the 6th Street Bridge is shut down. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. We'll let you know when that reopens, and we hope the best for that man up there. Again, agitated. I don't know if you've seen the 6th Street Bridge, but those arches are very easy for someone to walk up all the way to the top. Well, the numbers on the latest homeless count coming out today, not pretty. Insiders say homelessness is on the rise here, even though LA's mayor made it the top issue, a top priority, and spent a lot of money along the way while in office to try to make this situation better. John Barrett has reaction from Westchester.
The numbers are going to be released officially this afternoon, but sources say what they will show is the city of LA now has a homeless population of 45,194. That's just the city alone, with an overall increase of 3.4%. And when it comes to those living outdoors or in their cars, the number jumps to nearly 8%. One man I spoke to said housing is a big part of the problem here in LA.
Well, the rents are sky high, housing situation, and again, just the rents, and it's making it just worse.
And yet others look around and believe the situation is actually getting better, although they're not exactly sure of the accuracy of the homeless count. You don't think it's going up?
No, I don't see it.
You think it's going down?
Yeah, it's going down. Well, you don't see them around. They are always around here.
Oh, you don't see them as much?
No.
Still, the increase in the number of homeless people could complicate things for LA Mayor Karen Bass, who's running for re-election in November. The mayor has made the homelessness issue a big part of her agenda. I'm John Baird, KNX News.
Well, we talked about this with RAND's Dr. Sarah Hunter. She tells us their studies show the loss of numbers have been too low over the past couple of years.
Our numbers were 26% higher in 2024 and 32% higher in 2025. Our numbers in 2026 show a plateau, so no change from 25 to 26, which might mean that losses numbers are just getting to be a little more accurate than they were in the past couple years. Of note, our numbers were very much in line with LAHSA 2022 and 2023.
We also talked about the latest numbers with Adam Murray. He's CEO of Inner City Law Center, nonprofit poverty law firm serving the most vulnerable folks and families here in LA. He tells us today's report will show how many people are homeless due to mental health and also drug addiction issues compared to those that are just out there because of financial troubles.
This report, which will come out today, should have breakdowns of those. It's our best snapshot of who's actually on the streets at any given point in time. I will say historically, it's been around 30% of folks who are struggling with mental health, 30-40% are struggling with mental health and or addiction issues. So it's a substantial chunk of the folks who are out there, but it's not the majority. It's never been the majority.
No, he says sometimes people who are having financial problems become homeless and then, of course, turn to drugs. So those numbers kind of intertwine. So the 6th Street Bridge over the river, LA River, from Boyle Heights over here to LA shut down. There's somebody on the arch that they're trying to get down. There's a ladder up there from the hook and ladder, the fire truck, but he's now laying face down. So 6th Street Bridge, Susie Jessup, that is shut down.
Right? Yeah, you know what? I've been watching this for about an hour and a half, and it's really precarious. Like you said, right now, he was laying down on the bridge, and now he's on top, like yelling and doing stuff. And so it's not affecting the 101 yet. It's not affecting the 5 just yet. But the 6th Street Bridge completely closed from Mateo as you make your way to, it looks like just past the 10, the 5 through there, just past that East LA interchange. The entire bridge, Whittier Boulevard, 6th.
1時間半かかるのか。2時間かかるな。1時に着く。3時間。 さあ、服か。